So this is actually deeply tied to how the economics of Silicon Valley work. AI is not a special case of this, right? You have a lot of cases where technology just like takes everybody by surprise. And it's because when you go into Silicon Valley, it's all about people placing these outsized bets on what seem like tail events, like things that are very unlikely to happen. But with at first a small investment and increasingly, growing investment as the thing gets proved out more and more very rapidly, you can have a solution that seems like complete insanity that just works. And this is definitely what happened in the case of AI. So 2012, we did not have this whole picture of like an artificial brain with artificial neurons, this whole thing that's been going on. That's it's 12 years that's been going on. That was really kind of shown to work for the first time, roughly in 2012. Ever since then, it's just been people kind of you can trace out the genealogy of the very first researchers, and you can basically account for where they all are now.
You know what's crazy is if that's 2012, that's the end date of the Mayan calendar. That's the thing that everybody said was going to be the end of the world. That was the thing that Terence McKenna banked on. It was December 21st, 2012. Because this was this goofy conspiracy theory, but it was based on the long count of the Mayan calendar where they surmised that this is going to be the end of civilization.
Just the beginning of the end, Joe.
But what if if it is 2012, how wacky would it be if that really was the beginning of the end? That was they don't measure when it all falls apart. They measure the actual mechanism, what started in motion when it all fell apart, and that's 2012.
Well, and then not to be a dick and ruin the 2012 thing, but neural networks were also they were floating around a little bit. I'm kind of being dramatic when I say 2012. That was definitely an inflection point. It was this model called AlexNet that it did the first useful thing, the first time you had a computer vision model that actually worked. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it is fair to say that was the moment that people started investing like crazy.
Yeah.
Into this space. So
and that's what changed it.
Yeah, just like the Mayans foretold all that time ago.
They knew it.
They knew it.
Saw it.
Like these monkeys, they're going to figure out how to make better people.
Yeah, you can actually look at the hieroglyphs or whatever, and there's neural networks and this crazy shit.
Imagine if they discovered that. You've got to wonder what happens to the general population, people that work menial jobs, people that their life is going to be taken over by automation, and how susceptible those people are going to be. They're not going to have any agency. They're going to be relying on a check. And this idea of going out and doing something. It used to be learn to code, right?
Yeah.
But that's out the window
Yeah.
because nobody needs to code now because AI is going to code quicker, faster, much better, no errors. You're going to have a giant swath of the population that has no purpose.
I think that's actually a completely real. I was watching this talk by a bunch of OpenAI researchers a couple days ago, and it was recorded from a while back. But they were basically saying they were exploring exactly that question, right? Because they ask themselves that all the time, and their attitude was sort of well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's gonna suck or whatever. We'll probably be okay for longer than most people because we're actually building the thing that automates the thing. Maybe there are going to be some. They like to get fancy sometimes and say now you could do some thinking, of course, to identify the jobs that'll be most secure. And it's do some thinking to identify the job. What if you're a janitor, you're like a freaking plumber, or you're gonna just change your how's that supposed to work?
Do some thinking, especially if you have a mortgage and a family and you're already in the hole.
Yeah. So they the only solution, and this happens so often. There really is no plan. That's the single biggest thing that you get hit over the head with over and over, whether it's talking to the people who are in charge of the labor transition. Their whole thing is universal basic income, and then question mark, and then smiley face. That's basically the 3 steps that they envision. It's the same when you look internationally. How are we going to, okay, tomorrow you build an AGI that's incredibly powerful, potentially dangerous thing. What is the plan? How are you going to, I don't know, you're going to secure it, share it?
Figure it out as we go along, man.
Yeah. That's the freaking message. That is the entire plan.
The scary thing is that we've already gone through this with other things that we didn't think were going to be significant, like data, like Google search. Data became a valuable commodity that nobody saw coming.
Yeah.